if I were to tell you guys that there was a way to make a 99 rebounding big man build while having legend posterizer, legend high flying denier, the ability to shoot, and the ability to accurately throw the break. And on top of all of that, it doesn't require any cap breakers to be good. And not to mention, the max badge screen is looking absolutely diabolical. Of course, you will need some cap breakers to access everything on screen, but I promise you guys, the cap breakers we do have are going to be pretty damn glitchy. But, you know, as I said in the intro, if you don't have any at all, it's not going to be a problem. So let's just get into the build. So without further ado, to get this started, you guys are going to want to make this build a center, 6'11", 231 pounds with a 7'5" wingspan. I strongly suggest that you don't touch the weight or anything like that, because if you try to like get cute and play with it, you're going to end up losing too much strength, or you might lose speed, which we definitely do not want. So, you know, tune things at your own risk. Just be very, very careful if you want to, you know, kind of fine tune it to your liking. But I will also say you can make this build a 6'11" power forward if you want. Both of them work. I just think it fits the center position a little bit more. Once you go ahead and make it to the attribute screen though, we're actually going to skip right past close shot because we're going to go straight to upgrading the driving layup to a 75. And this will also force our close shot to a 70, which is not a bad value by any means. If we need to make a standing layup or something, we're not going to miss it. But the main thought process here behind the 75 driving layup is we not only get Giannis's layup package, you know, we get bronze layup mixmaster, we get bronze physical, we have some decent badges for it, but the cap breakers for driving layup are very glitchy on this build. And when I say very glitchy, I mean down the road, you can get this to about a 92 if I remember correctly. Now, do I recommend using your caps there right away? No, because I'll show you guys what you should use them on. But, you know, down the road, or if you just have a lot of caps to use, maybe you have like 15 of them, you're an absolute grinder, you can put them on driving layup and it makes this build even more lethal. But just keep in mind, those caps are there and you'll see it once we do make it to that screen. But after driving layup, you guys are going to want to put the driving dunk all the way up to an 89. Now, unlike driving layup, dunk is absolutely a spot you are going to want to spend some of your early cap breakers, because 2 of them will bring this to a 93. And you guys know what that means. You get a 93 and then you can +2 it to legend posterizer through your max +2 tier 2 slot or your finishing specialization slot if you have it. So some crazy value there, but trust me, it's going to get even better. For standing dunk, we are going to go ahead and go with a smooth 81. This is going to give us silver rise up, which we can easily +1 or even +2 if you have something like, once again, finishing specialization to get gold or Hall of Fame and then really throw down those dunks. But from my experience playing on builds with silver rise up, it is very good this year. And if you need to get that occasional contact, you can do it. Obviously, you're not going to be Shaquille O'Neal under the paint, but it is definitely a very valuable badge to have. Moving on from standing dunk though, we are going to put the post control all the way up to a 67. That way we get pretty much all of the post badges on bronze, and post control can actually also be cap broken very well later on. I think it goes all the way up to an 86. So if you want to turn this build into, you know, kind of a pseudo post scorer down the road, that is absolutely an option. After the finishing category though, we are going to skip right past the mid range and max out our 3-ball to an 80. I thought about trying to finesse this build for, you know, glitchy caps on the 3-pointer, but I'm going to be honest, if you're 6'11 plus, 3-ball is super cheap this year. It doesn't cost very much at all, so I didn't see that much value in trying to finesse it. But either way, after that, we are going to put the free throw up to an 84. If you're wondering why not 83, well, 83 is the best value in this game, but we had an attribute left over at the end of the build, and there was nothing to throw it on, so kind of a weird value, I get it, but that is kind of why it's there. Moving on to the playmaking though, we are going to go with an 84 pass accuracy. That way we get gold dimer, gold versatile, and silver break starter. Now I know some of you guys might be thinking, why not an 87? Well, honestly, an 87 was just a little bit too expensive to finesse on this build. And I've been playing on builds with silver break starter all year. It is great value. Silver break starter, you throw lasers down the court and you rarely throw the ball out of bounds. So I don't really think we need gold, although we can easily fix this with cap raiders down the road if we really want to. But the important things are, once again, gold dimer, gold versatile, and then also that Cade Cunningham pass style 82, which in my opinion is the second best in the game, obviously behind Halliburton, but Halliburton, you do need an 89 pass act, which is even more expensive than an 87, obviously. From there, though, for the rest of the playmaking stats, we ended up leaving the ball handle at a 50 and putting the speed with ball to a 55 for Giannis's dribble style. Now, I want to point out here that if you want to cap break the ball handle to a 70, it does only cost 3 of them. So if you want to be, a secondary ball handler on this build, you can absolutely do that. It's not going to really cost a lot, but in my opinion, once again, I would spend your cap breakers in other spots first, but later down the road, definitely not a bad investment. Now for the defense though, we are going to go with a 70 interior defense, a 72 perimeter, a 75 steal, and then an 88 block. Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking right now. 70 interior, this dude is a piece of paper in the paint. I'm going to keep it a stack with y'all. Silver Paint Patroller this year is more than enough. And we can easily, +1 that to gold because we're not using any max badges on rebounding because we are going to have a 99, which you guys are going to see in a second. But either way, you are not going to struggle with silver or gold Paint Patroller. I can absolutely promise you that. And the reason we didn't go 77 on that, even though we have an 88 block, I don't plan on cap breaking the block at all. I left it at an 88 so we can get gold high flying denier. And then from the gold high flying denier, we can obviously +2 that to legend. And that is kind of my thought process there. But do not be fooled by the 70 interior. You are going to be just fine. And then, of course, the thought process behind perimeter is we're getting silver removable enforcer, very good value there, as well as, bronze challenger, and a 75 steal. I get it. We could go with a 73. Maybe it's placebo. Maybe I'm tweaking. I feel like 75 just gives you better animations. And I know that it was the case last year in 2K25 where you got like the better on-ball reach animation. I don't know if it affects lanes at all, but I've played on builds of 73 and 75. The 75 just feels better. Like I said, could be placebo. I don't know, but it feels way better. Moving on to the rebounding though, we are going to first put our offensive rebound to an 80 and then our defensive board to a 94. Obviously, the thought process is that we are going to cap break D board +5, and that is going to give us, legend box out beast and legend chaser. Now, I know what some people are thinking here as well, kind of like the defense. Dude, only an 80 O board, isn't that kind of low? Well, on this build on offense, you are going to be stretching the floor with that 83 ball. You're not really going to have a ton of opportunities to grab offensive rebounds unless you are blatantly crashing at the end of the shot clock. And by that point, you're going to have good positioning. If you know you need to crash, you have legend box out beast, and that's going to help you secure those. And an 80 board is not bad at all. I have multiple builds with it. I snag. So yeah, I mean, the main thing is these legend rebounding badges, which we are going to get through the D board anyway. Finally, for the physicals though, we are going to max out the speed, max out the agility, max out the strength, and then upgrade the vertical to an 83. Once again, vertical is another spot I recommend putting caps because with only 4, you are going to get it to an 88, and that is going to give you legend pogo stick. Once you do go ahead and fully create the build, you are going to get the name Disruptive Rim Running Cleaner with shades of Embiid, Cousins, and Cowens. Now, going a little bit more in depth with the cap breakers I was just talking about, here is my current version of the build. Yes, I am not fully maxed out yet. I'm only at an 88 overall. But as you guys can see, we have our board at a 99. We have our vertical at an 87. I do need one more to fully max it out. And we have the driving dunk at a 93, which I did not lie. These cap breakers are very, very nice. It's only +2 on each of these for driving dunk to get that to a 93. And then vertical, as promised, you do get that initial +2, which is really, really nice to save one cap breaker when maxing it out. But as for the rest of these, I mean, driving layup, you get this to a 92 with 5 cap breakers. As I said, that is really, really good. Or even close shot, this goes up to an 83. Post control, this can go all the way up to an 86. Mid-range can go up to an 80. Obviously, ball handle, 3 of these is going to get you to a 70. There are so many different directions you can go with this build, and it's going to be good for pretty much the rest of the year. And honestly, that is something I wanted to achieve when making this build, because I feel like I make a lot of them where they're really good for, 10 to 15 caps, but past that, they just, you guys know what I mean, where once you cap break the main things, there's nothing else to really cap break, and then you just kind of have to throw them on things that you don't really care about that much. Whereas this build, let's say you play and earn all 28 cap breakers, you can max out D-board, max out your vert, max out your layup, max out your close shot, max out your post control. Hell, you can even put +4 in a block and then get Hall of Fame high flying denier off rip. There are so many different directions you can go with this build, and I absolutely love that. Oh yeah, and real quick, just to go back to these max +1s and max +2s that I showed earlier in the video, this was not even the result of a maxed out build. When I get everything on here, we are going to be able to put, let's say, Posterizer in this left slot right here and then rise up, so we could have Hall of Fame Posterizer and Hall of Fame rise up, even though we have an 81 dunk. That is crazy. Or, you know, Paint Patroller right here. Obviously, I can't put it in one of my slots right now because I don't have my interior maxed out, but you guys see the vision. Even just beyond what I have right here, there are so many different possibilities you can also mix and match. Not to mention, I almost forgot about it until we were looking at those little takeover surge badges. The take options we get on this build are really, really disgusting. Because not only do we have, you know, your typical center takeovers like Dishmaster or, you know, Crasher, anything like that, we also have Poster Machine. Don't sleep on Poster Machine. I mean, you get this going, a 6'11 build Legend Posterizer. Listen, all I'm going to say is I would not want to get in front of that. Now, that being said, though, boys, that is pretty much going to be everything I have for today's video. I'm very excited to get y'all gameplay with the Disruptive Rim Running Cleaner. I think it's going to be really good, especially in Random Rec, because, oh my god, man. The centers I be getting on my team are very, very questionable. All jokes aside, though, if you guys did enjoy the video or build, I would greatly appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, and if you left a like and a comment letting me know what you thought. It's been Gravely. Peace.